All right, everyone, class is about to start. Take your seats. Welcome to UGC 101, the podcast about all things user-generated content.
All right, welcome to the UGC 101 podcast. I'm your host, Nate Flake, and today we have an awesome episode for you guys. We're going to talk about something that is going to save you a lot of time and heartache. So today we have Jamie from My Julip. Jamie, I want to kind of dive in. I guess let's introduce you. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi, I'm Jamie, based in New York City, and I am a solopreneur. I mean, I do have designers and developers, but the business is mainly run by me. I'm sure a lot of UGC creators can appreciate that solopreneur life, the hustle of most UGC creators I meet are usually doing not just one thing, but like 2 to 3 things. And Julip was really designed for creators and freelancers and solopreneurs because I'm sure you can appreciate building a whole website, nightmare and expensive and time consuming. And then the other side of the coin are using Band-Aid solutions like the Linktrees, the Stands, the Canvas of the world. And there was really nothing in the middle. So that's why Julip was born, to help you create your website and bio in 20 minutes and have people know more about you and your about page. Because let's be honest, 150 characters on Instagram ain't enough to tell your story, your services. So it's clear how brands can work with you. Your affiliate shop, if you decide to do that, it's visual versus Linktree where it's just blah, 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 blah. And then, of course, your portfolio, right? And I know a lot of people use Canva, which is great. I love Canva, but I'm sure you've seen a ton of portfolios. It can look great on desktop and then really smushed and crunched up on mobile, where Julip is perfect, will always stay pristine on both desktop and mobile, which was really important for us. And customizability, get your colors. So it's a really great tool and people have been loving it.
Love it. Can't wait to ask some questions about it. So I want to ask, first of all, because I know when we started chatting, was this, did you initially design Julip? And I guess to get people caught up, Julip's essentially going to be like your alternative to trying to use 4 other tools, right? And we'll kind of get into that. But I want to talk about how did you initially build this for the intent of UGC, or was it like freelancers, or was it like actors, or what is it for, right? I want to hear that backstory. How did you fall into Julip?
Let me tell you, this idea I've been working on for over a year and a half. And the first business I ever had, the biggest mistake I made, and this is for anyone, talk to your customers.
Yeah.
So the initial idea, I haven't even told this story to anyone. The initial idea that I actually had was making, because my past businesses are in the pet space, I'm a crazy dog mom, was actually to make a pet LTK. Because actually LTK doesn't do partnerships with pet brands. It's beauty, fashion, and things like that.
Oh, interesting.
So then I started talking to a lot of pet creators. 9 out of 10 times, they're like, oh, I'm just using it to document my dog, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, would you pay for something like this? They were like, no, it's like a hobby. It's fun. And I was like, okay, the pet creators, they have to be super serious about it to invest in a tool where, to LTK's point, it's beauty and fashion, will invest that time and energy. So then I started talking to those people. I started talking to freelancers and solopreneurs because that's what I was doing. And I was like, this is a great tool.
Yeah.
And then I spoke to UGC creators and every single one of them was like, can I have this now? Can I have this now? Can I have this now? Which is, and also I don't care how much it costs. They were just so jazzed. So I really honed in on UGC. And then again, as an entrepreneur, you're just talking to customers all day long. And I actually discovered it's really great for UGC creators. It's like chef's kiss. Yeah. But as we just said, UGC creators are doing so many different things. So it's also great for freelancers. If you're an interior designer, a social media manager, a consultant, you can house everything in one. Actually, someone recently signed up and they used it for their personal brand because she does wellness. She has a granola company. She also does UGC. And I was like, granola company, wellness, UGC, so many hats. So it's really a great place to host everything. And it's just so easy to set up and it's really beautiful. So
that's awesome.
That's the story.
So when you started doing, you started building, I guess before that, what were you doing before that? Are you a UGC creator yourself, or how did you even fall into learning what UGC was?
So my first business it's called Dog Spotted. And like I mentioned, I'm in New York, and it was to help pet parents connect with veterinarians and get actual real advice versus the scary Googles. And a lot of pet businesses were coming to me about marketing. And that's how my second business was born, which is Be Spotted, which is teaching pet businesses how to market specifically on Instagram. And the biggest complaints I heard, a website's so expensive and annoying. And then my product clients were like, I need to get people to promote my product. And that's kind of how I learned about UGC, was through my pet clients, and then taking that website problem and the UGC and learning more about the community, kind of put it together. And I was like, oh, this could be an all-in-one solution, because you really only have two options, right? As a UGC creator or a freelancer, you either can have the link trees, the Canvas, the Calendlys, all these different tools, or a full-blown website. There's nothing in the middle, and that's where Julip sits.
Yeah. A lot of people don't. I mean, I'm one of them where I haven't put in the time or the money to like get a legit website built, you know, like it's just like another thing that's on my to-do list. And you know, especially with how busy a lot of us UGC creators get, like we never really take time to work on the business. We're just in the business all the time.
Totally.
So that's really cool. So I want to know, where'd you get the name Julip? I never asked you that.
So the story is the least sexy story, and everyone's like, you need to make the story better. But I think the honest, better. Yeah, but the truth is real, and it's very businessy. So I mentioned my first business was Dog Spotted. My second one was Bee Spotted. So I was actually going to call Julip Spotted, like you've been spotted.
Yeah.
But because this is a tech business and it could become very scalable, I was like, I'm going to hire a trademark lawyer and solidify the name. Let me tell you what. So tech, it's really hard. And when I said Spotted, she was like, no. So I was just scrolling and trying to get inspo. The biggest thing for me was I didn't want it to be gendered. Like if you think about it, like for example, Stan Store. Stan is like a man's name.
Yeah.
So I wanted it short, easy to spell, and not gendered. And I came across, actually, have you ever heard of the drink mint juleps, like from the Derby?
Yeah, I was literally going to ask you if you got it from Disneyland's mint julep, because that's my jam.
Yeah, they're so good. But what's interesting is I thought julep was spelled Julip, but it's actually EP. So I was like, great, it's not even a real word. And then I said, trademark lawyer? And she was like, yep. So that's the story. I told you, not sexy, but real.
No, that's cool. I'm glad it linked back to the mint julep. That's sweet.
Yeah.
So tell me about, like, as you're building, you're talking about, I love how you're talking about talking to your customers, right? We talked to Creator Desk a couple of weeks ago. They're very, very involved in like development of like, and they're like UGC project management tools and things like that. I love that. And I've already heard good feedback from my own community about like how they operate. And I love that kind of customer for it. Cause like at the end of the day, UGC customers or UGC creators are your customers. So like go through kind of some of the problems that you found as you were starting to do some of these discovery conversations. I know you and I had one a few months ago as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think the biggest mistake, just for other people that want to do market research, is actually a really great book. If anyone's a nerdburger like me, it's called The Mom Test. And it's all about having questions that aren't leading to get the answer that you want, but also asking strangers. The whole premise is like your mom's going to say what you want to hear. If they're a good mom. But in terms of what I learned, right, is UGC is still a very new thing, right? So I think a lot of people are very overwhelmed, like where to start. And again, they're using these Band-Aid tools from Linktree and Canva and all these different things. So a question I kept hearing about Canva was, you know, it looks great on desktop, but then on mobile, it looks really smushed and unprofessional. But I don't want to build a website, which this is just a side note that I can't stop talking about because I think it's really interesting. Have you ever heard of the term zero clicks? So in terms of websites, I think websites are going to start going down because people find websites on Google, right? Google now, you know, when you're Googling, you get that AI summary at the top a lot of the time. Yeah,
it's so annoying. Yeah.
Well, so annoying. But if you think about it, you have the AI summary, then you have the sponsored content, then you have the organic content. So people are literally getting 0 clicks on their website now because Google's whole mission is we're going to get you the answer as fast as possible. So they just go to the AI summary and they don't even click your website anymore.
Yeah. So if you're not in the AI summary, you're
you're
screwed,
out.
basically.
You're screwed.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
But the positive is people are looking for creators, not on Google. They're looking on social.
On social, yeah.
So it doesn't even matter. So to build a whole-blown website for your social makes zero sense, and that's where Julip really fits. So one, people are like, I was thinking of doing a Squarespace or a Wix, but it was so hard. It was so tedious. It's so expensive. And then the other thing I kept hearing was, I'm not a designer. Like, I don't know how to make it pretty,
yeah.
right? So with ours, we already have pre-done templates, and you literally can't mess it up. Like, we've set limitations so it doesn't look too long or too smushed. And people also love that it's all in one, because you don't want to send them to 10 different places. And that's the problem with the Linktrees of the world. If you think about it, if you have Linktree, you still need something else, because Linktree is just to send people places.
Yeah, it's
not
just a middleman.
correct. And then one other thing I kept hearing from people was about affiliate marketing. Is with Linktree, again, it's just link. And obviously UGC is not necessarily about your followers and getting clicks, but that doesn't mean you can't make some extra dollars. And a lot of UGC creators get affiliate links.
Yeah.
So on Julip, there's two really neat things you can do. One is you can organize the actual product versus sending them, for example, to Nike.com. You send them right to the shoe, because less clicks means more conversions.
Yep.
But in addition to that, we have a pin section where you can have up to 5 products. So let's say Nike approached you, Nate, and said, hey, we want you to create a reel for Nike, but also here's an affiliate. You could say, hey, my fans, my followers love sneakers.
Yeah.
You can sell that pinned product real estate as ad real estate and make recurring revenue on top, even if you don't have a big following.
And that includes like digital products too, right?
Correct. You could do that. This is a secret, but I want to share with your fans. So we launched not too long ago, but before the end of the year, we're going to be launching 3 new features. We're going to be launching the ability to collect emails via freebie, to sell digital products directly from Julip, as well as book a call get brands to book calls with you or sell your time as well. But that'll be at the end of the year.
That's sweet. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So the other thing that a lot of UGC creators that I talk to, like a lot of them came from either Amazon influencer or TikTok shop. So that's probably another good use case, right? Of like, hey, you can link your, what do they call it? Amazon storefront.
Yes. So they could do 2 things. One, they could just link the entire storefront. But I find, if you think about it, if I posted this blue top on my stories and said it's in my Amazon storefront, you then have to click to go to my bio. Then you have to click the Amazon. Then you have to find within the Amazon categories the product. So what we've done is you can link the individual product and organize it so it's easy to find. You're cutting the clicks in half, which will lead to more purchases.
Yeah, and if you limit it to 5, it's like you really got to hone in on like what you're actually wanting to sell, right? You know, like just have this laundry list of stuff.
Totally. And that's just the pin section. Below that, you can organize as many categories as you'd like and as many products there. So it's really unlimited. It's just the pin section. You can only have 5.
Got it. Okay, cool. How did you guys come up with like going through and at the end of this episode, I'm going to link obviously like the Julip like sign up page and a couple examples, including my own, my Julip page. How did you come up with like the color scheming and all that stuff? Like, did you just go like, hey, we're going to start small and kind of expand out from there?
When you say color, like my brands or
like how I can go in and customize the colors. You have a bunch of really easy presets that were I as a non-designer person, I was super appreciative of.
Yeah.
Go through that story. How did you like even begin that process?
I love that. So I don't know if you've noticed, because I think you're also using Stan. A lot of people are using Stan, which is really expensive. They charge $29 a month, and then their next one is $99. And right now, during our founders pricing, it works out to $9.99, so $10 a month if you pick annual, or monthly is $14.99. So we're more than half of Stan. And Stan, you actually can't pick your exact colors. They have their preset colors. So what we did is, one, for the people that are like design, I don't know, you can use the ones I hired a designer to pick complementary colors. So you're more than welcome to use that. But in addition, and most platforms don't offer this, is like Linktree I don't think offers it, or Beacons or Stan. Do you know what a hex code is? And I can explain it for the listeners.
Yeah. Explain it. A lot of people here are like new UGC creators.
Yeah. So, for example, pink. There's hot pink. There's light pink. There's dark pink, right? There's so many shades of pink and greens and blues. So a hex code is the exact identifier. It's a mix of letters and numbers to get your exact shade of pink, blue, or green. There's a really great website. We could link it below. And I'll send it. It's called Coolers, and
Yeah.
it's a palette. It's totally free, where it shows complementary colors, and you'll see the hex code there, and you can just copy and paste it. So if you have a really specific aesthetic and color story, you can immediately, in 2 clicks, put it into Julip versus having to just get stuck with what Linktree or Stanstore offers. You can truly make it customizable to you and have it stand out.
That's awesome. I love it. Yeah, I love how easy it was to set up too. Let's talk about, so like I'm kind of going to go back to our first discovery call. You were asking me like some of the problems that I was having as like, trying to get a portfolio up and running and things like that. As you were designing this, was the thought like the simpler the better, right? Like let's make it stupid simple for people to set up. And then how like go through that process, right? Like kind of give some background on that and like why you picked that and then how it's helping, because I know you guys have a bunch of people already using Julip and it's been great for them, and how it's helping conversions.
Absolutely. So I'll be honest, as I mentioned, my very first website was actually WordPress, which is not for the faint of heart. I did not build it. Brutal.
Yeah,
I did not set it up. I paid a developer, and then they were like, oh, and you can add blogs on the back end. And I was like, this looks like it was made in 1933. I do not know what I'm doing. And then anyone that's using beacons on the back end is actually quite overwhelming. Like there is easily like 30 options on the left side to choose from. And it's like, I don't know what any of this is. So less is always more. So when we designed it, I'm tech savvy to a point. But I wanted it that if my mother saw it, who's in her 70s, she could easily set it up. So I just think less is more. And that's why we started with the features we have now, which is super comprehensive as a website and bio. And then we're not even adding too much in terms of like buttons, I guess, if you will, to add those new features I mentioned. It's going to be smoothly integrated and it'll be really, really easy. And also, whose time? I was literally on the phone with someone earlier when I asked, oh, I noticed you don't have a website. She's using Canva. And she's like, yeah, I don't like my Canva, but a website is really hard. I actually spent a week physically going to like a school to learn how to build a website. I'm like, that's insane. So you're losing time, like not getting business because you're going to website school. And then I was like, or you could just use Julip and set it up in 20 minutes. And to that end, this is for UGC creators as well, because again, I think a lot of UGC creators are brand consultants, social media managers. Here's a really neat idea as another way to make revenue. As I said, Julip is so easy to build, genuinely 20 minutes. You can offer to build your clients their Julip and charge them and say, I'll build you a website in a day, charge them $300-$500. And for them, it'll be easy peasy to edit. So it's another way to monetize.
Yeah, and then they can get in and they don't. That's like the biggest problem about websites too, is and which is like the biggest reason I haven't had mine custom made or anything by a contractor or something, because I don't want to be like completely handcuffed to that contractor for the rest of my life, right? Because anytime you have to make a change, it's not like, hey, you can go in there and fix it now. You go in there and you're like, oh, this is Spanish, and I don't speak Spanish. So
literally, and then you're charged. They're like, well, even if it's a 10-minute fix where you have to charge you minimum an hour, and then you're spending $300 to get like a word changed.
Yeah, that's wild. That's wild. Talk about the tabs. So I like how Julip, and then again for listeners, some of this is you're gonna be lost until you actually go and see what these look like. Until you go to the show notes and see these links. Okay, so go to the show notes at the end of this, and we'll kind of go through that later. But Julip is organized by tab. My favorite thing is how you can custom, like most softwares or most web apps, it's like, hey, these things are set in stone. You got to work within this framework.
Totally.
I like how you guys have made everything drag and drop, and I like how you have made all the tabs customizable. So if you want to start with your portfolio and you want to lead with that because you're a UGC creator and the affiliate stuff is whatever, you don't care, you can start with your portfolio. I hate this term. I'm like a coach, right? A UGC coach, and I've got a community. And so like I'm leading with a section that I've named Learn, right? And it's like my Fiverr Pro course is in there first because that's like I'm trying to lean more into the coaching and less into UGC now. Although I still do like 95% of my revenue through UGC. But it's nice how you can customize the tabs and then you can drag and drop the tabs how you want as well.
Yeah, 100%. And again, it's super mobile and desktop friendly. It's been really, really cool, to your point, to see how different people are customizing their juleps and how different they are. There's two really interesting examples that I've seen. So one woman is more for her personal brand. She's a professor and New York Times bestselling author. And she didn't have products like affiliate links that she wanted to promote.
Yeah.
So she actually, and I can link her julep so people could see it. She's actually using the shop tab to promote her podcast episodes, which is really interesting. And then another girl, and you don't have to, so for everyone that checks out Julip, there's 4 tabs that you can use, but you could use 3, you could use 2, you could use 1. It's complete. You can just hide the page.
Yeah.
And then the other girl, she's a travel creator and she's actually selling a retreat. And before, she was using a Linktree type tool, and all she could put was the name of the trip and link to her Stripe. So people didn't know what the trip included. What was it going to be like?
No
What's
description or anything?
Nothing. She didn't, because it was a Linktree.
Or pictures too, which is actually crazy if you're going on a retreat.
Crazy. And it was
not. We're going to this country. Like, look up the pictures if you want.
Literally. And it's not cheap. She's charging like 1,100 euros or pounds or something. Anyway, now within Julip, her whole services page says group trip. The first thing is the retreat with a picture, a short description, a button that says join us. When you click that, it's a full description of the trip, a link to the itinerary.
Oh, that's really cool.
Connects to Stripe. And then below it, she has testimonials from the trip and FAQs about the trip. So it's just so cool to see the different use cases of Julip. It's so customizable.
Yeah, I like that. Well, and as you're saying that, I'm like, it's not even, you didn't build this for UGC creators originally, and it seems like it's going to be more than just UGC creators using this, right? Like any type of freelancer, web design person, or I mean, any type of digital service you offer, you could use this too.
100. If you are doing business online, especially if you're a service provider of any kind, this is a great tool for you. It's funny, and I don't know what your thoughts are. I've looked at some brands and they're using Linktree. There's this company I found because I love Shark Tank, and there's this guy, this company called like Barbell, and they make jeans for men that like work out and have like insane thighs, like tree trunk thighs. And I went to their Instagram, and they have like 100 or 200,000 followers, and their Linktree is horrendous. It is so bad. And I'm like, you're a product. You want to see the pants. You know, and I was like, brands could even use it because the shop is so visual, and they could tell their story of like, we were, you know, these big gym men, and now we needed jeans that fit our thighs. And so it's just, I think the important thing too is we're all visual, especially when it comes to shopping too, and portfolios and, you know, all that good stuff.
Yeah, that's awesome. I want to change gears a little bit and ask you about where you think like, obviously you're in the middle of building this. You've already gotten customers on. This thing is live. This isn't like a MVP or a concept or anything like that. Where do you're already obviously building in features that are coming at the end of the year for lead magnets and things like that. Where do you see this space going in 5 years? I love to ask that question.
Ooh.
Especially like, right, you wouldn't have invested all your time and sweat and tears and money into building this if you didn't think there was some longevity there. So I want to get your thoughts. Going to put you on the hot seat a little bit.
I love it. So 2 things. One, I think our world is only going to get more online. I don't think we're not going to not be online, right?
Yeah.
So I'm investing in that. There's only going to be more creators that are going to be added to the economy. And from the service perspective, I hear from so many people being like, I want passive income. I want to work from home, right? And that's why those new features come into play to help them have it all in one place. In 5 years, I think, honestly, creator economy is going to be taken a lot more seriously as a real profession. And people, maybe they'll be I mean, you offer a course, there's creator school, right? And that's such an important skill because, oh man, I'm sure you've seen it. Some UGC creators, I'm like, woof, this is rough. And
it's hard to, I mean, there's a lot of us, right? Which is like, I'm part of that problem. I'm bringing a lot of, I mean, it's not a problem, but I'm bringing a lot of people in to like, hey, this is something anybody can do. And for some people, it's going to be, this is a $300 to $500 a month extra on top of my income. And I'm like, okay, but doing a few videos. Great. But then some people, it's like going to be their full-time gig, right? So, and I want to go back, not to cut you off on this, but something you said is interesting. So going back to the pet, let's go back to the pet stuff.
Sure.
when you were talking to brands,
Mhm.
and this is going to link back to the 5-year thing. Okay. So when you're talking to brands and trying to tell them how to market their pet products,
Yeah.
and you're having to educate them on what UGC even is,
Right.
how
Yes.
many, like give or take percentage, how many of them had any idea what UGC was? And this was a year ago, a year and a half ago?
Yeah. No, I was still doing it. I would say they knew what UGC was, but they didn't know the name of it. Like
Got
they
it.
would say, "Oh, I send free, I'm making it up, treats to 10 dog creators."
Yeah.
They would probably say influencers even if they were micro.
Yeah.
But I don't think they understood the nuance, right, of if the video was on the brand's page only versus it being on the influencer's page, right? Because that's the big
That's
difference.
not an Yeah, that's not UGC. If you're sending product for someone to post, that's influencer or a micro influencer or whatever they call them, you know.
Right, exactly. I'm sure everyone here knows what UGC is, but for the newbies, right, people pay a lot of money to influencers because they want to leverage their audience, where UGC is taking the content, putting it on the brand's page. Because I always explain, I'm like, think about back in the day, these brands would have to hire a studio, models, videographer, photographer, props. It is so much better and more affordable to do UGC, and you get more diversity. It's just, I love UGC. I think it's freaking brilliant.
Yeah. And then you get it in mass too for the same budget. And like even those people, like you're sending gifted, we call those gifted collabs, right? Where you're not getting paid. I tell, you know, if you're a brand new UGC creator, hey, that's just good reps for you, like getting some practice. No shame in taking gifted collabs when you first start out. But it's funny because like you look at like I can't imagine it like if I was a micro influencer and I had 30,000 followers doing a gifted collab. Like that's wild, right?
Yeah.
And like I won't even do that as a UGC creator now. And so that's interesting to see. And that's part of that. I was like, okay, there's so many, because a lot of people say this space is too saturated. Like, oh, there's so many. But I think it's the people that are just like, when you're in UGC, that's all you're getting served up on your algorithm is UGC creators, UGC tips. But then you take us like go grab your spouse's phone or your friend's phone, scroll on their TikTok. You're not going to see a single thing about UGC. So I think it's still so new. And a lot of people don't get that. Like, yes, there's a lot of creators in your little world because that's all you see on your socials because that's who you are. But like as a whole, it's still kind of in its infancy, I would say. Like there's so many brands that have no idea what it is.
1,000,000%. And I think the one thing that UGC creators as a way to get more deals from brands is be really, really clear on where you are in your life. So for example, on Julip in your about page, I would share, and I've spoken to brands who have shared this with me. I wish I knew when people were getting engaged, for example. So if there's any like wedding brands or engagement or bachelorette or bachelor party, right? Like if you put in your about page, like I just got engaged, we're getting married in May 26, like wedding brands then can find you and know you're in that stage of life, right?
Yeah.
So making it easy and clear, like do you focus mostly on vegan makeup? Do you do tech? Like the more niche you are versus saying I do everything, it'll be much easier for brands that, oh, I want to work with this guy.
Yeah. No, I agree. Putting a lot like location, things like that, like the
Huge.
more about yourself people know, brands know, the more they can leverage that about you.
1,000,000%. And then that's one thing. So I've recently joined Reddit because I've heard that's where to be, especially for UGC.
Yeah, Reddit's
Do you
wild.
know wild? Do you know how many times I see brands complaining and like, where is your email? So again, in Julip, you can highlight your email in the very top, and there's multiple points because if you make it difficult to reach out and just contact you, they're going to move on to the next guy.
Yeah. Don't bury your email at the very, very bottom of a portfolio link, right? And here, that's like right. I'm looking at my example on the other screen right now. It's like right. It's a huge mail or what do they call those? Envelope.
Yes.
What are those things they
Front
used
and
to
center.
use for physical mail? Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a big email icon right there, which is perfect.
Yeah.
And you can put your location. Talking about location, I have a pin right there that says Utah, like right in the thing. Because you get like people don't understand, like, well, why do I put my location? And a lot of people are like, especially the older creators, like they're worried about like giving their address out and stuff. Like no one's gonna come to your house and rob your house. Like I promise.
But also don't put your address, put Utah, for example.
Yeah, put Utah. But then like, it's okay if brands get your address at some point. But the reason I put Utah is so then people know that I have access to the mountains and things like that. And I've talked about this on other podcasts. A lot of creators don't realize that them being them, is like just you being you and looking how you are and your age and your color of hair or your lack of hair, like that's going to get you 90% of the way there anyways, because people are going to reach out based on that. And then the other 10% is like just making sure you create good content, right? Location goes into that 90% too. And so like you may 100%. Be in, like I can't do any paddleboarding in Florida videos because I don't live in Florida. I don't have access to that beach, right? But if you're in Florida, like, hey, you're already there for a lot of brands. And so I think people don't get that. But yeah, I got a message today right before we hopped on this podcast actually from somebody that's like, hey, there's company's looking for a bald creator and I don't know any bald people, so I sent them to you. I'm like, oh sweet. There
amazing. Do you know what's an interesting hack too? Travel brands don't want to pay creators to travel to places. So for example, if a travel business was like, we really want to feature this cafe in Utah, they could just bring you there. Why schlep some other creator to Utah when you're already there? So I bet a lot of travel companies are like, oh, I want to find a creator that's in Utah instead of having to pay to fly them, to host them in a hotel where I can just send you.
Yep, 100%. Yeah, that's a great point. So we've talked about the tabs, we've talked about the portfolio stuff. I want to talk about another tab on there that is interesting too. So you have your products, which you can list your products out, and then the portfolio tab.
Yes.
So this is where I think this is the thing that kind of sold me on Julip, right? It's like, okay, my portfolio sucks. It's not good. I haven't updated it in a year. I need to update it. Like, how easy is it to just throw videos into this portfolio? Like, can you section them off? Go into that a little bit.
Absolutely. So 2 things that I think really differentiates us from Canva is, and I'm sure you've seen this, on Canva, when you have your videos, one, you have to upload the video onto Canva and then format it.
Yeah.
But also with Canva, you're just scrolling for days to find the video you want. Like, I think people are going to get carpal tunnel with all the scrolling for Canva.
A lot of people put a lot of videos. I have the opposite problem. I don't put them out.
But it's not a bad thing that you have so many videos. It's just the formatting requires the brand to scroll for days. So what we've done is 2 things. One, the way you can upload the video is you can either, as long as the link is public, you can go to your Instagram or the brand's Instagram, copy the URL of the reel or the TikTok or whatever. You literally just copy and paste it and label like fitness content or whatever you want, and it'll go right there. Then, as you see on Canva, right, they'll have beauty, tech, fashion. So you have you can add the categories. So there's this girl, I can send you hers so people can see, Alana, who did a really great job of this. So I think she has 7 categories, and they're horizontal. So all the brand has to do is just click like once or twice to see it. And then when they click that category, then the videos are there. And then there's just a click below the video. So you could have 10 videos under a category, for example.
Okay.
And if, for example, a lot of UGC creators are using their videos for ads, right? So maybe it's not so easy to just copy and paste a link from your Instagram or the brands. As long as, and most people, from my understanding with UGC, your videos are either hosted on Google Drive or Dropbox. Yeah. If the link is public, you can just copy and paste it and it's right there. So it literally takes seconds.
Yeah, that's what I did, because a lot of people don't. I mean, I'll post like UGC examples for my community, but I don't ever. It's pretty rare that a brand wants me to post it on my own account. I don't know if that's good or bad, but so I don't have a lot of UGC examples on my own account, but to your point, and I think I actually asked you about this a couple weeks ago when I was building mine.
Yeah.
I have all of mine on Google Drive, a portfolio. Before I had a portfolio, I only had a Google Drive folder called portfolio, and luckily they're all still there. Right. And so I just link them. The only thing I'll say is as you're building this, if you're listening, again, I know there's a lot of people on here that aren't tech savvy, and that's okay. Just make sure you go into Google Drive and change the share settings to anyone with the link can view, right? Because otherwise it'll just it'll throw an error.
And there's actually Instagram. It's quite annoying. They just added a new feature that, because it's a website, you need to make sure that it's the website embed is turned on. So anyone listening, and I can add this to the show notes, but if you go to Instagram, you go to settings, and then it says share and reuse. If you scroll to the bottom, it says web embed. Just make sure that's turned on.
Turned on. Okay. Are you ever going to add, this came up in my community a couple days ago.
Sure.
There's someone in our community that shares YouTube links to YouTube Shorts, but she has them listed but not publicly facing, if that makes sense. So you can publicly get to it if you have the link, but they don't come up on her page. Are you ever going to add YouTube to that?
YouTube is added.
It's added. Cool.
It plays right inside. The example I'll send Alana, she's using YouTube Shorts, but I do believe it needs to be public.
Okay, got it. Which is like also set. Fine. Like if you have your examples on YouTube, that's just another way brands can find you.
And you can add photos. So for example, like carousels, you can add that as well.
Oh, cool. That's sweet. Yeah, because a lot of people their UGC photography is huge, or they want to just show pictures of what they look like and think like, obviously, right? Or if they have like, there's some that are UGC creators plus they do some modeling on the side or something, so you can put it all in one spot.
Yeah, I was just talking to someone else about this woman that recently signed up. She is amazing. She has she does wellness. She has a granola brand.
Yeah,
and she's a UGC creator. And she said to me, she signed up and she reached out. She's like, this is so amazing because I do so many different things and I didn't know where to put it. And now she was able to put it all in one place so anyone could know what she's all about and all the amazing things. So
she just tabs them out depending on like one's UGC, one's like my store.
No, she put it all in one.
Got like in the tabs though, or how does she separate it all?
Yeah. So she focused her services, I think, on UGC. Her about page has all the information. And then shop, she put her granola. So it was really clever. I'll send that one to you too.
That's cool. Yeah. I'll link all these examples in the notes, you guys, so you can see them. Awesome. Well, I wanted to ask you a couple more questions about as you're building out this product.
Yeah.
What was one thing that you like a snag you ran into, or something like a problem that you found that was hard to solve? I love asking that from like a project management side.
Are you talking like a technical problem that happened, or like a problem like building it?
Like a problem that like UGC creators were having that you were like, okay, initially you didn't build that. You're like, oh crap, I need to add that. Like something you didn't think of.
Oh.
You're like, there's a lot.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
The hardest thing I think would definitely be the portfolio, because it's the most dynamic, because adding the videos and adding the text. So honestly, I cannot tell you how, like, I'm not exaggerating. I think I've had over 500 conversations. And I would show them Julip and I'd be like, what do you think? Like, give me your honest advice. Like, you will not hurt my feelings.
Yeah.
And a big thing was like, oh, I wish it had this. Oh, I wish it had that. There are some people that, take a grain of salt, but actually, and I know she was on your podcast, Tran. I spoke with her about it. And one thing that she said that was really interesting, when you're staring at something for so long, you don't even notice. The way we had the shop and the services set up, like the flow of adding it, to be honest, was a little backwards.
Yeah.
And Tran was like, if you flip it, it's actually less steps. And I was like, oh my God, duh. So it's, again, I think the biggest problem founders have, and I've had friends this has happened to, where they get so stuck in their ways and they don't leave their ego at the door. I'm creating the product for you, the UGC creators, the freelancers. So hearing this advice is so helpful. So I guess just making sure it's efficient and right. But I'm so lucky that I have people like you, Nate, and Tran, and others to give me honest feedback so that I can build the best product.
Yeah, no, I love it. The community is super awesome. And like, I think that that's like great advice, even if you're not building a tech product, right? Like think about like your own, I was just at Trans Amsterdam event a few weeks ago. And like, I feel like I have a pretty good handle on like making videos at this point. I've done over 1,000 videos.
They're so good.
But now but then you get someone to Tran who's like next level.
Right.
And you're like, okay, can you look? Cause like you said, once you're in something for so long, you start to get blinders, you start to get lazy, you start to like get complacent. And then you have someone that's like, you always want to surround yourself with people that are way cool. That's the only reason I have this podcast, to be honest. Like, I want to learn from people that are way cooler and better than me. And so it's good to like get a second, third, fourth set of eyeballs on stuff, which is why I'm like a huge believer in communities as well. It's like, oh, dude, get feedback, right? 100%. Like, I think my videos are cool, but then, you talk to someone else, you're like, no, they're not that good. You got to do this and this and this. You're like, okay, cool. Like, now I got humbled a little bit. Like, let's get back to work. So I love that whole mentality of like getting other people to look at your stuff. And so if you're like, hopefully if you're not a UGC creator, you're listening to this, I'm confused on why you're listening, but if you're a UGC creator like that's great advice. Okay. Even if you're not in a community, if you don't want to pay for a course, totally cool. I talk about that all the time. Like UGC coaches, they don't care if you pay for communities. They want you to just start UGC because it's great. Right. And so if you don't have a community, at least surround yourself with other UGC creators that you can get to know, that you can start having them bounce feedback off of your videos, because you're going to keep making the same trash videos thinking they're great, and you're going to never improve. Right.
Yeah.
And so that's awesome advice.
Thank you. Yeah. I think people typically create solutions because they have the problem. So they're like, oh, well, then I know how to build this. But there's so many other problems that you might not even know about. And then your product could stand out because you actually talk to your customers.
Yeah. I love that. And then that's a good UGC lesson too, is like learning what, like if you're doing an ad or you're doing like a retainer for a brand too, right? Like it's good to see who your customers are to know like, hey, this is not going to hook them if they don't care about this thing, or this is not going to be a good call to action, or knowing who your audience is too. So that's a great lesson all around.
100%. I agree. I love it.
Well, wrapping it up, I super appreciate you, Jamie. Do you have any last words of advice to any UGC creators? You've talked to hundreds of them. Any words of advice from somebody who came from like kind of the marketing side outside the UGC world?
I think, and I say this about UGC creators or anyone that's starting, at the end of the day, being a UGC creator, you're a business owner, right?
Yeah.
If you don't work, you're not getting paid, right?
Yeah.
That's the life of being an entrepreneur versus that 9 to 5 where if you do a good job, you'll get paid every 2 weeks. This is my advice, and I think you'll only fail if you stop.
Yeah.
I know it's so cliche to say consistency, and I'm not even just saying obviously be consistent and continually post content, but just consistently show up for your business and network. And honestly, the UGC, I've been in a lot of different industries. The UGC space, everyone is so nice.
Yeah, it's actually
lovely.
crazy. It's like a cult, honestly. It's like a little scary. I'm waiting for someone to ask me to
cult.
sign up for something. Yeah. I'm like, this is weird, but I love it. Yeah. I'm just waiting for the other shoe to drop. I'm like, something's up with these people, but everyone's insanely nice.
Lovely. So I'd say usually reach out. I actually went to a networking event the other day, and they gave the best advice because I was like, I want to talk to more people, both in UGC and in freelancing, but so many people get these spam messages. Here's the tip. What is the number one thing people like to talk about?
Themselves.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So keeping it short and sweet, whether it's a DM on Instagram or TikTok or LinkedIn. So for example, let's say I was cold DMing you, Nate. A great message could be, hi, Nate, I love what you're doing with your UGC 101 podcast. It's so cool. I'd love to learn more about you and your journey and how you got started. Let me know if you'd be down for a virtual coffee chat.
Yeah.
Most people are like, oh, I want to talk about me.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and doing this, you could do the same with brands, being like, oh my God, you started this really cool fizzy drink, company. How'd you get started? How'd you come up with that grapefruit lemon flavor? Like, people love talking about themselves and just making it about them and listening. And the best part is once you get them talking, they'll usually talk about, I've also had this problem. And then you can insert yourself as the solution.
Yeah. Love that. That's great advice. That's awesome. Well, I appreciate it, Jamie. As I mentioned this earlier, I'm going to link not only the sign up for Julip, but also a couple of those example profiles so you can kind of see, including my own, guys. Be nice.
It's gorgeous, guys. It's gorgeous.
I went back. I had a lot of analysis paralysis. I'm like, do I do this color? But so it's going to be in the show notes. So if you go, no matter where you are watching this, or I guess listening to this podcast, go into the notes. You'll see the links there. Jamie, it's been a pleasure. I super appreciate you. And then hopefully we'll have another chat, like maybe like down, a few years down the road, see how crazy this space has changed. I think that's awesome.
Would love that. A little before and after. And thank you again for having me. This was so much fun, and you've built such an amazing community. So I'm so happy to be a part of it.
No, I appreciate you. All right. Have a great day, and we will catch you guys on the next episode. Appreciate it.